Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really diving deep, aren't we? Going beyond just scratching the surface. We're talking about mirror work. Now, you might have heard of it, maybe even tried it, but we want to get into the real detail today. It's seen as this really powerful technique for, self-love, self-awareness. Our mission here is to pull out the practical stuff from the material we've looked at, understand how it works, why it's meant to be so effective. We're looking for those aha moments, the things that make you think, okay, now I really get it. Okay, let's unpack this. So, mirror work. The term is out there, but our sources seem to suggest it's, well, a bit more profound than just a quick exercise. Based on what we've read, what's the real heart of this practice? Why is it positioned as so fundamental?
Yeah, it's interesting how the material really frames it, isn't it? It's not just another self-help trend. It's described quite clearly as one of the best techniques to learn to love yourself as you learn to see the world around you as a loving and safe place. So that's, a pretty big claim right there. It's about a fundamental shift. And it also mentions that this has been helping people for as long as they actually do it, repeating affirmations consistently. It's really presented as this direct way to recalibrate how you see everything, starting inside and moving outwards.
That really stands out. That connection, loving yourself, helps you see the world as loving and safe. It's like an internal shift projecting outward. And you mentioned affirmations. They seem absolutely central to this. Could you break down what affirmations actually mean here? Because I think for a lot of people, it's just repeating nice phrases, right? But this sounds deeper.
Absolutely. And the sources are quite specific, which is helpful. They define affirmations very broadly as the things you think or say. So it's not just the positive things you try to say. It actually includes, and this is key, all the dialogues in your head and the self-talk you make. That internal chatter we all have, that running commentary. According to this, that's a constant stream of affirmations.
Wow. Okay, so everything we think or say internally is an affirmation.
Essentially, yes. And these streams are powerful because they're seen as messages sent to your subconscious, messages that, over time, help establish habitual methods of behaving and thinking. So basically, our subconscious is constantly being shaped by this inner talk, whether we're paying attention to it or not.
That really changes things, doesn't it? It means we're always affirming something.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then consciously choosing positive affirmations.
Yeah.
That must have a really different, a much better impact than just letting the old, maybe negative thoughts run on autopilot. What kind of benefits does the material say come from focusing positively?
Right. This is where you see the direct link to well-being. The sources say positive affirmations can plant healing ideas and thoughts, and the result of that, they help you create deeper self-confidence and improve your self-esteem, which in turn leads to inner joy and peace of mind. It's like reprogramming almost. Your subconscious doesn't always argue, it just absorbs, especially with repetition. So by feeding it positive stuff consistently, you're essentially replacing old limiting patterns with new supportive ones. It's not just about feeling good for a minute, it's about rebuilding that inner foundation for confidence, self-worth, and ultimately that inner peace.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Okay, so we've got these affirmations, this constant internal dialogue shaping our subconscious. We get that. But the technique is specifically called mirror work. Why the mirror? What's so special about standing in front of a mirror and saying these things out loud? Why is that supposed to be more powerful than just thinking them or saying them in the car?
That's a great question, and the material makes a very strong point about this. It actually states pretty directly that the most powerful of all affirmations are the ones you say out loud to yourself while standing in front of a mirror. Oh, the reason? It's because the mirror reflects back to you your feelings about yourself. It's like an instant feedback loop you can't really hide.
Reflects back your feelings.
Exactly.
Right.
When you say something positive, like, I am capable, while looking in the mirror, it makes you aware right away of where you are flowing and open and when you are resisting. You see it in your own eyes, your expression.
That difference between flowing and open and resisting, that sounds crucial. Can you maybe explain a bit more what that actually looks like or feels like? I imagine that's where it gets,
Yeah.
well, maybe uncomfortable sometimes.
Oh, definitely. It can be uncomfortable, especially at first. So flowing and open, maybe you feel a sense of ease. You make eye contact easily. Your expression softens. It feels true. There's an alignment. Your reflection kind of confirms it back. But resisting, that's when the mirror becomes really revealing. You might notice yourself wanting to look away, maybe a slight frown, tension in your jaw, or just an internal feeling of, ugh, that's not true. That's the resistance. It's your subconscious holding on to older beliefs, bumping up against the new affirmation. The mirror shows you that conflict immediately.
Ah, okay. So it's like a visual lie detector for your inner state.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It highlights the exact point of friction between what you want to believe or affirm and what you currently believe deep down. You can say, I love myself anywhere, but saying it while looking yourself directly in the eye, your immediate unfiltered reaction tells you volumes about where you truly stand with that statement.
That makes so much sense. It bypasses the intellectualizing. It forces this really honest self-assessment. Not just thinking about the affirmation, it's experiencing your reaction to it visually. That sounds incredibly direct.
Precisely. And that's why the source says the mirror clearly shows the thoughts you have to change for you to enjoy a fulfilling and joyous life. It pinpoints the exact spots, the doubts, the self-criticism that might otherwise stay hidden. It's not about judgment, though. It's about awareness. Gentle but direct illumination. The mirror acts as this conduit to your subconscious, showing you where the blockages are in real time. And that kind of immediate raw feedback, that's gold for personal growth. It really challenges you to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, I can see how that immediate feedback would be so valuable. It moves it from theory to a very real, visceral experience. You're literally seeing your own internal landscape reflected back. So if someone commits to this, practices mirror work consistently,
hmm
what are the bigger picture changes they might expect? It sounds like it becomes more than just saying things in the mirror eventually.
Oh, absolutely. It ripples outwards into daily life quite significantly. The sources suggest that by doing this work, you can become even more aware of your actions and the words you speak. Huh. So that heightened self-awareness you cultivate in front of the mirror starts to extend throughout your day. You become more conscious of your automatic thoughts, your habitual ways of speaking to yourself and others, your choices. It fosters a kind of ongoing mindfulness. And there's another layer which is really profound. It says you will also learn how you can take better care of yourself on a much deeper level than what you have been doing in the past. We often think of self-care as, bubble baths or treats, which are fine, but this is talking about something deeper. Understanding your real emotional needs. Recognizing when you need compassion, not criticism, when you need to set a boundary, when you need rest. It's about nurturing your inner world in a truly supportive, fundamental way based on that honest self-awareness you've built. It helps create a kinder, more compassionate inner voice.
That's such an important point, moving beyond the surface level stuff to genuinely understanding and meeting your own deeper needs, building that solid, compassionate relationship with yourself. So what does this all mean? What's the takeaway for someone listening, thinking about their own journey?
Well, what we've really unpacked today about mirror work is just how practical yet profound it can be. It seems to offer this really accessible path to loving yourself more and just being more aware. We've seen our inner chat is always happening, these streams of affirmations constantly shaping us, and choosing positive ones starts to change things deep down. But the unique power comes from the mirror, right? That immediate, honest feedback. It shows you where you're aligned, where you're flowing and open, and crucially, where you're still resisting, maybe holding on to old doubts. And knowing that, seeing that is what empowers you to make those shifts towards a, well, happier life and taking genuinely better care of yourself. It's quite a journey.
Exactly. And building on that, the source really emphasizes how the mirror reveals that flowing versus resisting.
Hmm.
So maybe a final thought for you listening is this. Think about how often we look outside ourselves, right? For validation, for answers, for someone else to tell us we're okay. But what if the most direct, most honest conversation you need is the one right there, in your own reflection? What personal resistances, those little doubts, those patterns you feel stuck in, what might become crystal clear if you actually stood there, looked yourself in the eye, and engaged in that practice regularly? It's really an invitation to connect with yourself on a level that maybe you haven't before. Directly, honestly, see what comes up.
A really powerful invitation indeed. Something definitely worth reflecting on. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into mirror work today. Keep reflecting, keep exploring, and we'll catch you on the next one.